to the High Museum of Art. Today, we're going on a virtual tour to see how artists are also creative problem solvers, similar to scientists, engineers, mathematicians, and designers. For thousands of years, humans have been creating designs and making art that reflects the world around them. They have used technology and the same skills that scientists and engineers use in artistic design and expression. Today, we'll explore how creative problem solving is key to all the different fields of study: art, engineering, technology, math, and science. Grab your pencil and paper and make observations along the way. Pause the video at any time to look closer at an image. Exploring the world around us and being curious are what makes us human. Let's get started. Can you believe this is a chair? This chair is black and white and is made of many layers of fabric that have been peeled back to reveal where you can sit. The base of the chair is grayish white, and the chair itself is only a couple of feet tall. Does this look like a regular chair to you? What is missing? What has been added? The name of this chair is cabbage chair. What about it reminds you of a cabbage? Why would the designer call it that? The design group's name is Nendo, and they are based in Japan. The founder and creative leader of the design group is Oki Sato. Oki Sato was trained as an architect. Issei Miyake, a fashion designer, challenged Nendo to create something out of the leftovers from textile manufacturing companies, pleats or folds in clothing that end up getting cut and thrown away. Nendo saw a problem. Humans were wasting thousands of pounds of fabric when creating textiles and clothes. How could all this fabric be repurposed to create something new? Scientists and artists alike often study different issues or problems in the world and create things to solve those problems. How was Nendo a creative problem solver? If you were given this challenge, what would you have created? Let's go way back in time, over 500 years ago, to see how artists were creative problem solvers even back then. In this painting, we see a person holding a baby in their lap. We see two men on either side of them. One man is wearing white and holding open a book. The other man is wearing orange and green and holding a staff. The woman in the middle is wearing a blue and green cloak with a pink gown underneath. In the background is a blue sky with white fluffy clouds. In the foreground is a small bird. This painting was created in the early 1500s, way before the time of being able to go to an art store to buy your art supplies. The name of the artist was Girolamo Romani. Artists during this time had to make their paint and paint brushes. Let's focus on the blue on the woman's cloak. This specific blue was impossible to find in Italy, where the painting was created. It was made from a stone called lapis lazuli and could only be found in what is known as Afghanistan, over 3,000 miles away from Italy. Once the stone was found, artists had to grind it up into a fine powder. The powder was then added to egg yolk or some other type of substance that bound the powder to oil to make oil paint. It was a very long and tedious process, but artists figured it out. Some artists still use this process today. What are some other materials they might use to make paint? How was Girolamo Romani a creative problem solver? What skills did he use that scientists also use? Let's take a quick break to show you part of the High Museum's building. We will see how an architect saw a problem and designed an elegant solution to that problem. If you've been to the High Museum before, you will recognize this ramp. This part of the High Museum was built in 1983 and includes a long ramp that takes you from the Green Family Education Center all the way up to the top floor. The architect's name is Richard Meyer. He saw a challenge before him. What is a different way for people to go from one floor to another? This was the solution he came up with. This ramp is a simple machine. Technically, an inclined plane or a flat surface placed at an angle. Inclined planes use force, in this case, a person using energy to walk up the ramp, and resistance or gravity relative to the angle, for people to easily use the ramp from one floor to another. Brilliant design! Let's check out another brilliant design. What do we have here? This is a huge shiny concave disc, meaning that it curves inward. It is a perfect circle at 9 feet and 8 inches in diameter, or the length from one edge of the circle to another edge of the circle. The disc is 24 inches deep and weighs 330 pounds. The surface is highly polished stainless steel, and if we were to see it in person, you would see your reflection. However, since it is concave, you would see yourself flipped upside down. The ground would be the ceiling, and the ceiling would be the ground. The surface is fractured by smaller triangles and shapes, so it appears as if your reflection is completely abstracted. If you looked at it in person, you might see many repeated shapes of your head and clothing. Let's meet the artist, Anish Kapoor. Mr. Kapoor was born in Mumbai, India in 1954 and currently lives in London. He was curious how concave mirrors can flip our worlds upside down. Another cool feature about this sculpture is that it is considered an acoustic mirror. That means if you were to stand at a certain distance from the disc and you whispered, your whisper would be heard in another spot away from the sculpture. This is caused by the shape of the disc. Sound is reflected on the surface and bounces back in a concentrated location. How is Anish Kapoor like a scientist? How do you think he had to study math and science to achieve this interactive sculpture? Where do you see that Mr. Kapoor used creative problem solving? Let's go back in time by about 300 years to see one last innovative design. The year is around 1735, and the place is Germany. Porcelain, a strong yet very delicate ceramic that is heated at very high temperatures, was in high demand. This little monkey teapot made its big debut. Yes, it's a teapot. We see one big gray and white monkey holding a smaller monkey that is holding a small cup. On the bigger monkey's back is another small monkey. This small monkey serves as the handle for the teapot. The monkey holding the cup is the spout of the teapot, or where the liquid pours out. Artists have always been very creative. Why just make a regular old teapot? Why not make a monkey teapot? Now it's your turn to be a creative problem solver and to think like an artist and a scientist. We are going to pretend that you have been challenged to create a functional or usable design that is also an animal, similar to our monkey teapot. Think of your favorite animal. It can be real or imaginary. Now think of an everyday object, a toothbrush, a pencil, a car, anything. Now combine the two. Remember, your design has to be functional. What will you include to make your design something that can be used? Is your animal also included? Share your creative and innovative designs with the High Museum. Ask your caregiver to help you share on social media using the tag High Museum at Home. Investigate further how artists are creative problem solvers with our related art activities, videos, and links provided on the Learn tab at highmuseum.org. Thank you for joining us on a STEAM tour.